After my husband passed away, his attorney gave me a sealed envelope and quietly said, "And Nathan wanted you to open this by yourself." Inside lay a single key and a short note bearing an unfamiliar address. "Please go to 127 Oak Lane alone." I had no clue what awaited me there, but the request felt deeply personal. Before I share what I uncovered, if this story touches you, please subscribe to the channel and drop a comment telling me where you're tuning in from. My name is Eleanor Hayes, and I live in a small, close-knit Vermont village where neighbours still wave from porches and everyone remembers your name. The house Nathan and I shared for nearly 38 years is filled with echoes of him. His favourite armchair sits untouched by the fireplace, the leather worn smooth from countless evenings. His old toolbox remains on the garage shelf, tools neatly arranged just as he left them. The faint scent of cedar from his workshop lingers in the air. His sudden death from a heart attack left me adrift, turning a lifelong partnership into quiet solitude overnight. Grief is a silent companion that settles into every corner. Our daughter Clara, now 37, stops by frequently with meals and gentle encouragement. She worries I'm not sleeping, not eating enough, and sits with me on the swing when words fail. "Dad would want you to keep going, Mum," she says softly. Our son Ethan is quieter about it, checking in with simple texts. "You okay today, or need anything from town?" His concern is steady, unspoken. Their love surrounds me, yet sorrow has its own rhythm that even family cannot rush. For weeks I sorted through Nathan's things. Some items went to charity, but many carried too much weight. Old love letters from our dating days, the wool scarf he wore every Christmas, albums of family trips. I believed I knew every layer of his life. Ours had always been an honest marriage, built on openness, or so I thought. Then came the call from Marcus Red, Nathan's longtime lawyer and friend. He asked me to stop by his office. I expected perhaps a final note or small bequest. Instead, he handed me the envelope with careful solemnity. He was very specific. "This is for your eyes only." The key felt ordinary, yet heavy with meaning. The address on Oak Lane was in the older part of town, a street I'd driven past countless times without ever noticing anything remarkable. Why had Nathan never mentioned it? That night I sat at our kitchen table, the key in my palm, the house hushed around me. I almost phoned Clara or Ethan, but Nathan's instruction held me back. This felt like a final act of trust. The next morning, nerves buzzing, I drove to 127 Oak Lane. The neighbourhood was peaceful, lined with mature trees and older homes. Number 127 was modest, well kept but quiet, with faded blue siding and a tidy front yard. A lone bird feeder swayed gently in the breeze. I parked, heart racing, and approached the door. The key slid in smoothly, turning with a soft click that seemed to echo through years. Inside, the house smelled faintly of books and polished wood. Clean, maintained, not abandoned. A hallway table held a single framed photo. Nathan, perhaps in his late 20s, laughing beside a woman I didn't know. Nearby were more pictures. Nathan with a young boy, no older than 4, who had Nathan's thoughtful eyes and crooked grin. The realization hit like cold water. This was a life Nathan had never shared. A child, a son. I sank onto the nearest chair, trembling. Confusion, hurt, and sorrow collided. Why now? Steadying myself, I explored further. In a small office, a drawer contained bundled letters in Nathan's familiar script. They were addressed to my dear Jonah, dated years before we met. Nathan wrote of late nights at work to afford medicine, of pride in Jonah's first steps, of reading bedtime stories. The mother, Leela, struggled with chronic illness. Nathan had shouldered much of the care. Then came the medical files. Jonah had been diagnosed with a rare disorder and passed away at 19. The loss explained the distant looks I'd sometimes caught on Nathan's face, the quiet moments he brushed off as tiredness. He had carried this grief alone for decades. A loose envelope fell out, addressed to me in his gentle handwriting. I opened it slowly. Nathan explained that he'd kept the house as a private place to remember Jonah. He'd tried to tell me many times, but feared reopening old pain would shadow our happiness. He wanted our years together to be filled with light, not shadows from my past, he wrote. You gave me peace when I thought I'd never find it again. Now that I'm gone, I trust you with the whole of me. Hold this truth gently as you always held me. Tears came freely. This wasn't deception born of betrayal. It was protection born of love. He'd shielded me from sorrow so we could build joy. I continued through the house. One bedroom remained a young man's space, posters of stars and airplanes, a shelf of model kits, a worn baseball glove. A drawing taped to the wall showed a family, father, mother, boy, labelled in childish script, "Imi Dad is my hero." The words pierced me. Nathan had preserved every fragment of Jonah's short life. Pages detailed Nathan's early struggles as a young father, his guilt over what he couldn't change, and how meeting me had slowly healed him. At the end, he wrote, "Loving you didn't erase the past. It gave me strength to carry it. Now it's yours too, not as a burden, but as proof that love endures everything." I left the house feeling both broken and whole. The truth hadn't shattered our marriage, it deepened it. Back home, I knew I couldn't keep this from Clara and Ethan. They needed to know their father fully. When they arrived, I told them everything. The key, the house, Jonah. They listened in stunned silence. Clara's eyes filled with tears. He carried that alone so we wouldn't have to. Ethan nodded quietly. It makes me love him more, knowing how much he protected us all. We visited the house together in the weeks that followed. We read the letters, touched the drawings, shared stories. We didn't erase anything. We honoured it. Fresh flowers appeared on the desk. We repaired a creaky door. The house became a quiet memorial to a son lost too soon, and to the man who loved deeply in silence. One afternoon, standing in the sunlit living room, I felt Nathan's presence, not in pain, but in quiet understanding. He'd trusted our love to hold the truth, and it did. Our story wasn't diminished by secrets. It was completed by them. If this tale moved you, please subscribe and let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Thank you for being here with me. After my